Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. Follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. You can support the show at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. I am on Cash App and Venmo at the Joey Harris. If you would like to send me a couple of bucks that way, I would appreciate it. And folks, we are back again here today. We take a look at Survivor Series 2005 from the WWE. Survivor Series 2005 was shown on pay-per-view on November the 27th, 2005 from the Joe Louis Arena in Detroit, Michigan. There were 15,000 in attendance and the show did 400,000 buys. We start out with our intro. Joey Styles, the coach, and Jerry Lawler from Raw welcome us. The Spanish announce team is introduced. Then Michael, Cole, and Taz talk about the event. Sharmell comes out and introduces Booker T. Match 1 in the Best of 7 series for the United States Championship. Booker T with Sharmell versus Chris Benoit. The bell rings and Benoit attacks Booker right away. He finally breaks on the ropes. They vie for position. Booker gets the slam. They drive to a corner and break. Benoit with a series of knees to Booker. Booker rolls out to regroup. Booker with a go behind. Benoit counters with a leg lock. Booker gets to the ropes. He rolls out again. Test of strength. Booker with a high kick to the jaw. Booker with a back elbow. Benoit comes back with a snap suplex. Benoit stomps Booker. He beats Booker down in the corner. Booker comes back with an armbar. Back and forth. Booker with an abdominal stretch. Benoit breaks the hold. Booker with a boot to the face. Booker with a spin kick to Benoit. He gets the 2 count. He attacks Benoit in the corner. Booker gets the 2 count. Booker with a neck breaker. Booker with a rear choke lock. Benoit fights back to his feet. He hits a German suplex. Booker comes back with a heel kick. Both men are down. Booker gets a 2 count. Benoit goes for the sharpshooter after a dragon whip, but Booker gets a roll up for a 2 count. Benoit attacks Booker with chops. He gets a 2 count. A snap suplex gets another 2 count. Benoit hits 3 German suplexes. He goes up top, but Sharmell gets on the apron to distract him. Booker goes up. They trade shots. Benoit headbutts Booker off, but misses the falling headbutt when Booker moves. Booker gets the pin when Sharmell holds Booker's foot on the ropes for leverage, and Benoit is pissed. WWE Women's Championship match. Trish Stratus with Mickie James versus Melina with Nitro and Mercury. Melina out first and does her entrance. They flash back to what led up to the match. Stratus out to a fantastic ovation. She comes out with Mickie James. Stratus attacks Melina right away. She hits a crossbody to Eminem on the outside. She swings Melina around Stratus with a head scissors. All Stratus so far. Melina comes back. She stomps Stratus. She chokes Stratus up on the ropes. She chokes Stratus hard. More choking in the corner. Stratus reverses on Melina. Back and forth. It goes outside. James starts fighting with Melina. Mercury and Nitro get into the ring. They try to do the snapshot but get caught and ejected by the referee. Melina attacks Stratus. She hits a clothesline. Melina with a modified surfboard. Stratus fights out. They trade blows. Melina with a slam for a 2 count. Melina is pissed. Stratus with some forearms. Melina with a back elbow. Stratus with a takeover. Stratus with a spine buster for a 2 count. Melina throws Stratus, who lands on the apron. James pulls Stratus out of the way of a Melina attack and Stratus kicks Melina. Stratus hits a modified Stratusfaction to get the pin. Flashback to what led to the last man standing match. Ric Flair versus Triple H. Triple H out first. Flair out to a good ovation. Triple H comes out and attacks Flair in the aisle. He throws Flair into the barricade. He throws Flair in the ring and beats on him. Triple H with an Irish whip and a back elbow. He stomps Flair to the outside. Triple H grabs a chair, but Flair gets a kendo stick and beats Triple H. They trade shots out in the crowd. Triple H backdrops Flair to ringside. He then suplexes Flair on the outside. Flair up at 7. Flair suplex inside. He drops an elbow on Flair. They trade chops in the corner. Flair thrown to the outside. He's ran into a ring post. Triple H goes under the ring and gets a screwdriver. He gouges Flair's forehead with it. Flair is bleeding profusely. Flair gets in the ring and Triple H gouges Flair again. He drops a knee on Flair. He then drops several more knees, back and forth, and Flair thrown outside again. Triple H takes the Spanish announce table apart. Flair runs Triple H into the ring steps. A double count is going, both up and attack each other. Triple H hits a spine buster. Triple H gets a mic and antagonizes Flair. Flair grabs Triple H by the crotch. Triple H hits Flair with the mic. Triple H takes the Raw announce desk apart. He puts Flair on it. He goes to pedigree Flair on it, but gets backdropped through the Spanish announce table. The crowd chants, "Holy shit." Triple H up at 9. He grabs a chair. He gets in, and Flair attacks him. Triple H hits a desperation knee lift. Both get to their feet. Triple H gets the chair and throws it down. He and Flair attack each other. He goes to pedigree Flair on the chair, only to get hit with a blow by Flair. Flair hits Triple H with the chair. Triple H up at 6, and Flair bites him. He chops Triple H in the corner. He hits a back elbow and posts Triple H in the corner. He hits Triple H's leg on the post. He then clips the leg and bites it. He stomps Triple H down. He chops and clips Triple H's leg again. He goes for the figure 4, but Triple H kicks him off. Flair wraps Triple H's leg around the post and hits the leg with a chair. Flair puts the figure 4 on and grabs the ropes for leverage. Triple H taps, but it doesn't mean anything. Triple H up at 7 and clotheslines Flair. Triple H rolls out. He throws the ring steps in. He hits Flair with the steps. He goes to do it again. Flair toe holds Triple H, who lands and hits himself on the steps. A double count is going. Flair up at 7. Triple H up at 8, and they trade shots and chops. Flair with an Irish whip, and Triple H comes back with a pedigree. Flair up at 8. Triple H hits another pedigree. Flair flips Triple H off and gets up at 8. Triple H attacks Flair in the corner and hits another pedigree. Flair up at 9, and Triple H goes out and grabs a sledgehammer. Hits Flair with it, and Flair doesn't get up, and Triple H wins after the 10 count. Triple H comes over and mimes shooting Flair to put him out of his misery. Medics come out to check on Flair and take him out on a stretcher. The SmackDown team are shown talking strategy. Batista comes in and says as world champion, he should be the leader. The others reluctantly agree. Edge and Lita come to ringside. They get in the ring. He announces that soon they will have their own show, The Cutting Edge. He points out Demetri Young in the crowd and puts down the Detroit Tigers. He calls Young out and calls him Mark Henry. Lita brings the mic over and Young says that Edge has no balls. Edge gets mad and he and Lita leave. Flashback to what led to the WWE Championship match. John Cena versus Kurt Angle. Daivari is the special guest referee. Angle out first and they try and censor the crowd saying you suck. He looks intense. Cena out to a massive ovation. He looks ready for Angle. The belt is presented. The bell rings and they lock up. Angle with a takedown and goes after Cena's leg. Cena kicks off, but Angle goes back to the leg lock. Cena reverses into an armbar. Angle gets loose and rolls outside. Daivari keeps Cena from following. Angle back in and attacks Cena. He beats Cena down in the corner. Angle with a corner whip, and Cena gets his foot up on a charge. Cena with a fisherman suplex and cover, but Daivari refuses to count. Angle reverses into the ankle lock. Cena reaches for the rope, and Angle pulls him away. Cena will not give up. He gets to the ropes, and Daivari kicks his hand away. Cena with a spine buster and gets up, and he slaps Daivari. He slaps him again, and Angle stops Daivari from ringing the bell to disqualify Cena. Cena shoulder blocks Angle into Daivari, knocking Daivari outside. It goes outside, and Angle runs Cena into the ring steps. Cena thrown back in, and referee Chad Patton comes down, and Angle gets a 2 count. Angle gets a series of 2 counts. Dueling chants go out. Back and forth. Cena with a crossbody for a 2 count. Angle with a knee lift, followed by a belly-to-back suplex for a 2 count. Angle with a neck and body vice. Cena fights out. Angle with a rear chin lock. Cena with a jawbreaker to break the hold. Cena with a DDT and both men are down. They trade shots. Cena unloads with a flurry of offense. You can't see me. 5-knuckle shuffle. Angle clotheslines Patton and low blows Cena. Angle with a belly-to-back suplex as referee Mickey Henson comes down and Angle gets a 2 count. Angle misses a moonsault when Cena moves. Cena goes for the FU, but Angle grabs Henson and pulls off and clotheslines Cena. Angle knocks Henson out and brings Daivari in. Referee Charles Robinson comes out and Angle tries to stop him as Cena DDTs Daivari. Cena hits the FU and Robinson counts the pin on Angle. Coach argues that Robinson is a SmackDown referee and it shouldn't count. GM versus GM match. Eric Bischoff versus Theodore Long with Palmer Cannon. The introductions are made. The bell rings. They trash talk each other. A lot of stalling. Bischoff tries to rush Long, who avoids Bischoff. He mocks Bischoff. Cannon gets up on the apron and Bischoff takes advantage to choke Long with his belt. He then chokes Long down. Bischoff finally breaks. Bischoff with a sleeper. Long fights to get out. He starts to fade. He hits Bischoff with his shoe to break the hold. Bischoff with a karate thrust to Long. The Boogeyman's music plays. Bischoff sends the referees up the aisle, but Boogeyman appears behind Bischoff and hits a pump handle slam to Bischoff. Long covers and gets the pin. The SmackDown and Raw teams are shown in the back. Flashback to what led to the 5 vs. 5 bragging rights Survivor Series match. Batista, JBL, Rey Mysterio, Randy Orton, and Bobby Lashley versus Shawn Michaels, Carlito, Chris Masters, Kane, and The Big Show. Team SmackDown comes out first. Team Raw out next. Orton and Michaels start. They lock up and drive to a corner and break. Another drive and break. They slap each other in the corner. They exchange moves and counters. Michaels slaps Orton again. Michaels chops Orton in the corner. Orton comes back with forearms and gets a 2 count. He misses a knee drop. Masters tagged in. Orton with a knee lift. Masters comes back and chops Orton in the corner. He covers Orton, but JBL breaks up the cover. Lashley tagged into a big ovation. He hits a big power slam. Masters comes back with a clothesline. He goes for the master lock. Lashley breaks out and hits a belly-to-belly on Masters. Carlito enters and begs off from Lashley. Lashley with a running power slam for a 2 count. Michaels tagged in. He goes up top, but gets caught and slammed off by Lashley. Lashley with a series of slams to Michaels. Carlito comes in and Lashley hits him with the Dominator. Michaels then gets grabbed by Lashley, but Kane chokeslams Lashley to break that up. Michaels gets in and attacks Mysterio. He dominates Mysterio and Kane tagged in. Mysterio avoids and attacks Kane and gets a 2 count. Kane hits a big boot. Kane beats Mysterio down in the corner. Kane hits a backbreaker for a 2 count. Kane with a bear hug. Mysterio bites Kane to get out and Batista tagged in. Back and forth. Kane knocks the SmackDown team down only to get speared by Batista. The Raw team attacks Batista. He takes them down only to get grabbed by The Big Show. Batista hits the spine buster to pin Kane. Big Show chokeslams Batista and gets a 2 count. Big Show takes out the SmackDown team. Double choke slam to Batista by Big Show and Kane to pin Batista. JBL goes to attack Big Show, who slams JBL down. Big Show manhandles Team SmackDown. Orton guillotines Big Show on the top rope, and JBL hits the clothesline from hell to Big Show. Mysterio tagged in and hits the 619. Orton in and hits the RKO. JBL back in with another clothesline from hell, and Big Show is still trying to get up. Mysterio hits the West Coast Pop to get the pin. It breaks down and they are fighting all over. Masters gets a 2 count on Mysterio. Carlito tagged in. Carlito gets a series of 2 counts. Carlito with a rear chin lock. Referee Mike Chioda checks on Mysterio. When his arm doesn't fall the 3rd time, Carlito catches Mysterio on a springboard moonsault attempt, but JBL had tagged in and hits the clothesline from hell to get the pin. JBL attacks Masters in the corner. Mysterio tagged in and gets a 2 count. Masters with a corner clothesline. Mysterio hits the 619 and the West Coast Pop to pin Masters. Michaels is still down on the outside from the earlier attack. JBL runs Michaels into the Raw announce table. He throws him into the ring. Mysterio and Michaels go back and forth. Mysterio with the 619 to Michaels, who oversells it and hits sweet chin music to Mysterio as he goes for the West Coast Pop to get the pin. JBL in and Michaels again hits sweet chin music to pin JBL. Orton gets in. He stalks Michaels, who is down on the mat. They each avoid the other's signature move. Orton rolls outside to regroup, only for Michaels to hit a plancha on Orton. Michaels throws Orton in. Orton struggles to get away. Michaels with a flurry of offense. He goes up top and hits the elbow drop. A double count is going. JBL is still at ringside and grabs a chair. Michaels tunes up the band for sweet chin music. JBL goes to hit Michaels, who ducks it and hits sweet chin music to JBL again, only to get hit with an RKO from Orton to pin Michaels. Orton is the sole survivor and the SmackDown roster comes out to celebrate Orton. They lift Orton up and that's when the Undertaker's gong hits. A group of druids bring a casket out, they set it on its end and leave. A bolt of lightning hits the coffin and it sets fire to it. Undertaker comes out after Orton. He takes out members of the SmackDown roster to try to get to Orton. Randy and Bob Orton go up the aisle and Undertaker stares at them as they sign off from Detroit. Final thoughts. A good show with a great main event, worth at least one watch. You can follow me on Facebook, Threads, and Instagram at TheJoeyHarris. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. We can also be found on Spotify and YouTube. Just search for The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show and don't forget to hit subscribe. And of course, patreon.com/babykangaroomedia for bonus episodes of the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show, the Joey Harris Super Show, the Green Room, the Book Club Baristas, and so much more. Just $5 a month for hours of extra content. Thank you for joining me. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.